All right, everyone. Today on the show, we have DeJohn coming to us from Vermont. In this episode, we talk about some behind the scenes with A60 Media, his company A60 Studio, and moving fences all day at Carinthia. We also answer a bunch of listener questions at the end, so make sure to follow us on Instagram at 2plankerpod to get in on that next time. And yeah, that's all we have for housekeeping, so hope you enjoy the show. Let's start out with the easy question. Who are you and what do you do?
All right, so my name's DeJohn. I'm from Southington, Connecticut originally. Right now I'm living up in Westover or Wardsboro, Vermont. And basically I'm a skier and filmmaker.
Yeah, so where does like the ski and film journey come from? Were you watching these ski movies growing up, just getting super stoked on them, or how did it all start for you?
Yeah, so it all started when like me and my brother were super young and we used to go see the Me Heads films when we like those dudes like Jeff and Rooster. I used to see them like it's funny that I actually like know them now, but like I used to see them like premiere stuff and like geek out over it. And then like eventually my mom like bought me a little camera, like a little flip out thing from like Walgreens. Oh, it was so sick. And then we just filmed with that thing forever. I broke the screen because like my brother hit me one time. It was super dope. And like, yeah, it was just like it snowballed from there. And it's
Yeah,
just I've been making films ever since.
yeah. So where were you guys riding when you were growing up?
Yeah, we grew up in Sullyton. We have the home mountain, Mount Sullyton, which is kind of funny because Lupe and all those dudes that we always grew up with, who are like basically who we met later in life, they were at Sundown and they were like rivals. So we only met like only skied with them at like rail jams, like the preseason, like Bob Chalet, like Fatties, like those little rail jams. We would see them, but other than that, nothing. But yeah, Ski Sundown held it down. Like I grew up watching a lot of snowboard content, like Buck 90. Those dudes grew up there, so like they would always set up the park, and me and my brother would just ride and just like film little stuff and post it. It would be hilarious. Like looking back at it now, it's just great.
So was your crew mainly just you and your brother when you were growing up?
Yeah, so we had a little crew. It was like me, my brother, this kid Mike, which is Mike DeJohn, obviously. Mike Dulac, who's still like he's out there, still skiing some days, like more like doing other stuff. Joe Cornetti, who's more in the Navy. We used to just always shred, and then my good friend Brian Jones was like always behind the camera, kind of just like snowboard kid. But yeah, it was like kind of like just small, just like messing around. There's obviously others, but I'm forgetting them right now.
Yeah, and so I grew up watching like all the A60 stuff, and I know there was like a distinct transition when it went from Brett behind the camera to you behind the camera. So I don't know if we're kind of jumping too far into the timeline, but when did you guys kind of link up, and when did you take
So
the reins?
yeah, so that was crazy. So that was after high school. So yeah, we met randomly through a Facebook group, Keene State, like class of 2016 going there. And I was like, wow, I have a one mutual friend with this kid, Lupe. And I was like, oh, let's just like, I'm like, yeah, you need a roommate? He's like, yeah, like, I don't know really much. So like we linked and I was like, wait, you film that shit? He's like, no way. And like the funniest thing is I always had a joke. His name was Brett Coffin, obviously. So Brett, oh, like when I met him, he didn't originally start that whole 860 media thing, but like once I finally like got introduced to it, I always knew of it because I always had like I said, we were always like kind of not like rivals, it was like friendly things. So we'd see what they're doing, like damn, like Duggar and those dudes are absolutely killing it. Him, Paul, like, and then like we would just try to make some stuff, and like obviously like whatever, like probably wasn't up to par of them, but yeah. So we like linked up to them, and then I met Brett, and I was like, "Yo, dude, it's roommates." We went to school, and then we started making films. Like he was like, "Oh, dude, like I kind of want to stay like at school this weekend. Like, could you like film?" And then I filmed, and he was like, "Oh, dude, like." And then he started filming me more. It was just like kind of like a handoff. Then it was
Yeah.
dope. Yeah.
So yeah, what was it like being a film major up there? What were you working on? Were you ever able to like pass off ski projects for schoolwork, or were you having to do, keep school in one little pile over here and then do skiing on the side?
Yeah. So they never like Keen was super chill with that. Like they kind of care. Like they let me do kind of my like I was kind of free. Like they
Yeah.
let me do a certain amount of stuff, but they always made me like do like I had to do some nerd like sound stuff and some of the lame stuff, but obviously like I respect that. Kind of made me better in the end, but yeah, because I wasn't just filming fisheye and like just chasing kids around the camera. I actually like learned like composure and like how to actually make stuff sound good, which is super rad. But like a lot of the video, like a lot of the projects, I would just like definitely try to like tie in skiing. So like
Yeah.
most of my films were like about skiing. I did like a sound project that was like I had to like use a black screen and like just like create sound and like make it feel like you're in an environment. I'll say I did like a ski hill, obviously. Like that's the thing. Like all my teachers like knew when they saw a project, they're like, oh, it's gonna be skiing, and like always had like a little I don't know. They knew
Yeah.
it. It was just like a passion of mine. So
That's classic. And so when you were going into college, like film's kind of an untraditional route. So was like when you told your parents, "Hey, I want to go to school and play with cameras." What were they thinking about that?
so yeah, they didn't really they knew I was gonna do something creative. They're like, hey, as long as you get to school, like you gotta go. Just try something out. I'm like, all right, we're and they
Yeah.
always thought I would probably pursue something in like the creative field. So they were super down with it, which is like super sick. And it like costed a lot because like film isn't cheap for like cameras. Like most kids like pay for like tuition sucks, but like I had to buy like what was it 14 rolls of like 8 mil, which is like ridiculous, and like develop it. And obviously, like knowing rookie Chris back in college, some rolls came out like complete garbage. But like it happens. But yeah, it was super rad to like have them just be like, yeah, do whatever you want. Like if you fail, you could try something else. So yeah, they always had my back. Even like at that point in life, like that's what we had. We had a Vermont house. So they bought like this Vermont house I'm currently sitting in is like their house that they're just like let me crash at, and all my homies. And we call it like it's like the hub.
Yeah. That's awesome. And so when you were going into school, were you thinking like was like a future career your biggest concern, or like I just want to study something I'm interested in, like, and I'll make it work?
Yeah. So that like I always had the mindset like in high school, like cool, if I like obviously think about it now, I was like, damn, if I can make like $20,000 a year, I'll be set for life. And I was like, damn. Now I'm thinking like, damn, I'm an idiot. But like $20,000, nothing. But like, yeah, I always had a mindset of like, yeah, if I could just make it work, like I'll make it work. I knew I wasn't gonna be like making the big bucks. If it happens, it happens. But like, yeah, like I'm gonna work and do what I love and figure it out in the end.
Yeah. Yeah. So when did you end up graduating from Keene?
So actually no, I graduated high school in 2012, graduated Keene in 2016. So it was like just a quick 4 years,
Yeah.
4 year in and out. And I had a pretty relaxed schedule with me only living like I lived there Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, like crammed classes in, then just came over here, like shot out like east an hour to Vermont and just like lived in Mount Snow from like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So after you get out of school, what do you do? Like what's your move? You're like, I love filming. I got this 860 media thing going on. How are you making it sustainable?
Yeah, so if at first I was like, all right, I need to do something. So I like started just freelancing a bunch and like linking up. Like I still to this day I shoot weddings, and it's like one of those things people don't like, but it doesn't bother me. Like shooting weddings, it gets the bills paid. It's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
I don't. Most of the weddings I take to are all friends, so it's like pretty chill and like fun. But I do
Yeah.
that, and I shoot. Actually, I shoot polo events, like horse polo in Connecticut, and do like a bunch of like stuff, like random freelance stuff
Yeah.
that just like keeps me busy. And then I applied to Mount Snow for their video position, and actually didn't get it the first year. So the Rory Bruder, like one of the park crew guys, and Rob Black hit me up and like, dude, you want to just come dig like at park crew, and like you could probably shoot some videos on the side, like. And I was like, yeah, dude, like why not? We'll give that a try. So those dudes like hit like all those two, and like like Sean Murphy, like, just like like brought me in. Was like, dude, like just come dig, and I just like that's how it like snowballed from there.
Yeah. And so when was that all those guys were hitting you up and saying, "Hey, it didn't like you didn't get your number one choice. Let's do your plan B."
So that was the fall. That was like a month or two before the mountain opened. That was in 2017. So I've
Okay.
been working. This is my 5th year working at Carinthia now.
Uh-huh. And are you
So
still are you still doing park crew mainly and then filming on the side, or are you like
so
fully in the video position?
so now I kind of like I wear a bunch of different hats for the past few years. So like the past, I want to say 2 or 3 years, I've been doing the all like the Carinthia content mostly. Actually, most of the Instagram stuff. We also have like Dylan Demers has been doing a bunch of content like the past few years. He was like one of the creators of the whole Carinthia scene, which is super dope. And like what is it? Devin Bernard was before me. So like when I got turned down for the job, Devin Bernard was there, and he was there for like 2 years, and
Mhm.
then me and Dylan split the videos for a year, and now I'm kind of just they don't want videos anymore, so I'm kind of just doing like the Instagram stuff and just like trying to keep it alive.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, because I think it was when I was in high school, they were really going heavy on the C session stuff and like the C movie and just all that video content. So, what ended up happening with all that? Is just lost interest in it, or
Over the years, they just like kind of lost interest in more like I said, I hate like I love Instagram, but at the same time, like all the Instagram videos, people realize like, whoa, these are getting like tens and thousands of views. No one really wants to sit and watch a long video anymore. So like it's times changed and like it sucks. But trust me, every year I propose like, yo, we should bring these back. So I'm hoping one year they'll let me slide some C sessions back in, get some real hammers back going.
yeah? So when you're making these Instagram clips, are you using your crew, or are you just hanging out at like certain features throughout the day, filming? Whoever is going through.
So it depends, like because I still obviously like make like a bunch of like me and my brother like and a bunch of friends like make 860 media content still. So like I'll split it like when I'm days off. I'll like do those and like if I see someone like killing it in the park, I'll be like, yeah, let's take a lap and
Mhm.
like just film them for like a lap or two and then just make like a quick Instagram. So like kind of feeds both my like both pages because I can't let 860 media die. Like
Yeah.
I just love it. Yeah, and also like when I'm working, like we'll dig in the morning and like we dig like midday and stuff like that. But it's like pretty chill sometimes. And like we have enough guys that they'll be like, all right, Chris, you could like just go kick it.
Mhm.
And luckily Corinthia has like a pretty core amount of like kids here. Like they kill it. So I can just go out and just like, yeah, just like be like, yo, I want to take some laps to any kid. And they'll be like, yeah, I'm down. Like, or just like shoot an Instagram message to someone because I have the account, the Carinthia account. So kids like will message me and be like, "Oh, dude, it's killer today." I'm like, cool, let's go take some laps and like, and they're obviously hyped up and just it's a sick community we got here.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Carinthia is just like, oh my god, man. Growing up in Connecticut especially, Carinthia is like Mecca. Like if you want to go shred and it's like not that far away, like the kids that are really throwing down at your mountain, they're at Carinthia on the weekend.
Yeah, it's dope. It's super sick. It's
Yeah.
just it's so close to everything down south that's like, yeah, it really is like a little mecca.
Yeah. There's so many directions we could go, but like just focusing on Carinthia right now. So what makes it so special? Like who's the person behind the scenes that's kind of like the creative visionary for this? Because there's some amazing features up there, and like the park has just been one of the best on the East Coast forever. So just what's going on behind the scenes there?
Oh, there's a whole generation. I was late in the scene. So I wouldn't even say I have it late. Like I'm just trying to keep it alive and
Uh-huh.
just see what the boy like what the men taught me. But the true visionaries are like I had never even met him. This guy named Day, who was a huge Day, Kyle Megan, he left the year I worked. Elia Hamilton, all those dudes are like big groomers. And then like more like when I joined the scene, I was working with this guy, this groomer Craig, who was a boss. Nikki, Benny McGinnis was our head operator, and then the head diggers were Rob Black and Roy
Mhm.
Bruder, and those two dudes are like those dudes kept it true. Those are like the dudes that I thought like really kind of made Carinthia because Rory was the welder forever, and Rob was basically the guy who he was the he was the muscle behind the scenes, and he did most of the like all the prospector logs.
Hmm.
So he would just like on his free time, like sometimes wouldn't even get paid for it, and he would just make those things and just make them sick.
Yeah. Yeah. And so what's kind of like like what's a year look like for the terrain park crew? Because I'm assuming a lot of the construction of features is going on in the off season.
Unfortunately, I don't know too much because I'm never here because I'm doing freelance stuff usually
So
in the
you're just
summer.
always running around, yeah.
Yeah, I'm running like I don't even really work at the mountain at all. I'm a seasonal guy.
And so, so what's kind of the scope of your responsibilities then? So what are you doing to help keep this crew going?
So like when I showed up, I was just like literally a peasant to all these older guys. Like, yeah, and they just ran me into the ground. It was dope. And now like I'm a supervisor along with like Murphy, Sean Murphy, this dude Crit. We call him Crit. His name's Nate Brown, but he's true. He's like a supervisor too. And Adam Tees is our assistant manager. And this new guy, Nate Sheeman, is our new park manager, and he's killing it too because he kind of got thrown to the wolves this year with all the COVID rules and stuff like that, and he's just handling it like a boss. But yeah, so what we do is like basically we just go up. Now it's all fencing and stuff like that, but we go up there, dig the features in, and just smooth everything, make sure it's safe. Like now, this time of the year is kind of rough. Now we're getting a melt out,
Uh,
so there's a lot of digging, smoothing during the day, and there's like basically you dig in the features, make sure they don't melt out, start leaning too bad. We have we've got some pretty interesting clientele, so you got to make sure stuff doesn't get too damaged. Like we had a rail get bent in half the other day because someone hit the front of it. We're just like, what the? I hope this no scene, no one's dead. Okay, but I don't know how this guy happened, but yeah,
yeah. So are you going in there before the mountain opens, or are you?
yeah. So we show up 2 hours before the mountain opens, and
Mhm.
we'll sled people up and just kind of rake down the features and just like kind of make sure everything's safe. We put up like like I said, like all the we've got new fencing this year, so we just put up these fences and like make sure everything's like fenced off, properly signed. Then we just rake. Basically, we don't have too many guys, so like all the guys kill it. There's too many to name, but like yeah, then
So
we
you
just rake.
so you guys are basically just laborers. Do you just get out there, grind it
Yeah,
out, shovel and rake, shovel and rake, shovel and rake?
yeah, and then basically, yeah, we clean up the work from the real men and the cats, and those dudes are like the now we've got Nate Sheenan, he's one of the cat drivers, but like we got Zach Boyd who absolutely kills it, Nikki Stevens, like uh what is it, Brendan, he kills it, Brendan Bauer, and Mike Harris, like all those dudes are just like stepped up like so much because like we lost a lot of people this year because Rob and Roy are now on the bigger and better things.
Hmm.
So yeah,
Damn.
they just smooth the snow at night and just like will tell us where more and more work needs to be done. We're just head out there and do it.
Yeah. And so in your world, what's the stack ranking of your priorities? Because you're working at Carinthia, you got A60 Media, you got A60 Studio. So when you're envisioning your future, what goal are you working toward with all these different things going on?
That's yeah, kind of confusing myself too in this situation, but yeah. Uh, Eventually, like I know I'm gonna be too beat up to like dig parks and stuff like that, but I want to work for video stuff full time probably and just like take 860 studio like more serious. But I always that's the thing, it's gonna be so hard for me to step away from a mountain with all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, eventually when I'm like merge it probably 860 medias, like I'm always gonna make like homey like but we're it's gonna eventually someone's gonna have to either pass the torch or it's gonna like probably come to a close once we get all too old. But figure that out when that time comes. But yeah, I'll probably head it more into the video stuff once I get burnt out of skiing and like digging manual work more like it because I'll probably be skiing forever. But
Yeah, definitely. And so when you're looking at A60 Media, you guys had like a long stretch of just putting out not even just edits, like full length ski movies. So what was that chapter like for you guys? When did you really start getting into, hey, we're gonna get serious about the urban, we're gonna get serious about putting out these longer movies?
Lupe, that's the only word right there. He was the master. I'll say it to the end of it. This whole like, if he like so many times, I could tell you, Lupe looked at me and was like, "All right, we're going to hit these rails," and like we would hit rails like sun. I remember waking up early before the sun comes up, like digging features in with Lupe, or even setting up the night before. And he was just like, "Yo, like, do you see these videos? Like, we could do this. Like, we could make these videos." And that
Yeah.
was all because like we would have a month off and like school. I like linked up with Brett. Like that's when how I met Lupe. Like really got close with Lupe, and like we would come to like this house right here and like just bounce around. We would shoot to Burlington. Like that's the like we over those years like we would do a bunch of stuff. I remember we like went on a. He was like, "Dude, I got a sick opportunity. Like we're going to film like with Ski the East. Like LJ's gonna be there." So like we would go like film with them and like around Manchester. Oh, so sick. Like, yeah. So Lupe like kind of like motivated me and was like, dude, like, why can't we do this?
How old were you
Typical
guys at
Lupe.
the time? Because a lot of kids riding at parks, they're like, they're stoked on the urban, but they don't even know where to start. And so, just how old were you guys when you were finally like, hey, we can do this too?
Oh, jeez. I think I want to say like early, freshman year of college, maybe? No, probably earlier than that. I don't really know. I was probably 16 as soon as or 15 as soon as my brother could drive. And we could
Yeah.
just be like, yo, let's go hit this rail. And I didn't have to have my mom drop us off.
Yeah.
But yeah, we were always into like just messing around and just like ski mountain's busy. Like, screw that. Like, we'll go figure out something to do.
Yeah. And what was your guys' process for that? Like, what was the scouting process like? And then once you finally decided on a rail, where did you go from there?
Yeah. So, luckily for us, we always had like a crew of like, we had like a lot of rails and like that crew, Buck 90 would hit spots and like we would kind of like look at what they were hitting and be like, oh, that's sick. But like never like we can never hit what they were hitting at that point. So they're hitting big stuff and we're just like, oh geez, like we'll put that on the list for later. So like we would like eventually we would hit those rails and like it was it was crazy. But like yeah, we would in the summer, like I still have people like looking at rails and just like texting me. Like
Yeah.
Byron, one of my close homies, Byron Bay, like no matter where he goes, he'll send me around like yo and like send me a pin
Yeah.
and be like, yo, if you hit this, you gotta let me know, which is so sick. But like, yeah, I have a bunch of people sending me a bunch of spots. It's dope.
Yeah. You guys have this list. And what's it like in your mind where you guys are all like, let's actually do this? Like it's
Yeah,
almost like a military mission. You guys are okay. All
yeah.
right. Yeah. So what's all
So
that like?
I don't know. So usually it starts with like, all right, are we gonna do this? Like we all sit around like in the like living room and say, yeah, we're like, whatever, screw it. So we like charge up all the cameras, whatever. And then yeah, we usually just have there's like three main things: shovels, salt, water for hydration, and lip if you need it. And then like your skis, obviously, and your cameras, and you're good to go.
Yeah.
And just like, yeah. And we would just go out there, shovel. If we like cops show up, just be like, all right, peace. Like we'll leave. We're not gonna give you a hard time. But yeah, I don't even really know like we were just like, yeah, let's just like try it. And it just like kind of like we would hit like I don't even remember the first rail I hit, to be honest. But yeah, it was just like we just went out there and we were just like, all right, let's see if this doesn't work, it won't work. But like then it started working. We're like, okay, like we could do it.
Yeah. And so when you guys show up, are you driving around the block, scouting it out,
uh
looking for an in run? When you first get to the scene, it's got to be weird, especially
yeah.
because you know they
So
change it all up.
yeah, so first thing I always do is like show up to a spot like yet again, like Lupe was the first like always keep the skis hidden, just like chill, like chill. You always like scope it out, just see what's going on, and just like if someone's into it, you just set it up and see where it goes from there. Other than that, like as long as you could figure out like how to get enough speed, whether there's a snowbank or like you're pole whipping or something, like you're good.
So did you guys ever have any like massive run-ins with the cops when you guys were on these sites? Because it wouldn't be cheap getting a ticket for
uh
like messing up a rail or trespassing or something like that.
Yeah, so when we were filming Balance, we actually did. There was a
Okay.
down flat down rail that was wooden, and apparently a kid like 2 weeks before us went there and hit it and like couldn't stop in time and put his hand through the window, which is like, and we didn't know this, so that he just got his like property repaired, and we just like went there and like hitting this rail, and the cops showed up. We're like, oh, like no problem, like we'll leave, like show like while we were shoveling the stuff up, like the owner came up. He's like, no, you're paying for my rail, like I'm pressing charges. And it was like it was bad. It was bad. It was me, my brother, Alex Kymel, uh, I think like Brian Jones was there, and we were just like, all right, what are we gonna do? And I think my brother walked in and was like, yo, how much money do you want? Like cash. And we had to leave Kymel there as like a collateral to say that we're gonna come back. We're gonna run to an ATM and like do that and like pay this dude $250 for his handrail. That was bad. And then another time I parked my car behind a school building and I got trespassing with a motor vehicle
Oh my God. Yeah.
just because I parked behind the school, and like we were gonna hit a slide. So they tried to there's we put some snow below a slide, and they were gonna try to get us for endangering like kids. And I was like, dude, like what? And the cop was chill, so I can't complain too much, but it
Yeah.
sucked.
Have there ever been any spots that you've shown up to, and when you get there, you're like, this is too big to hit?
Oh yeah, there's definitely been some spots we should pull up to. Like there's a dam around this area that like I pulled up to one time. We're like, oh, we're gonna drop it, and we sit up top. We're like, we all looked at each other. We're like, yeah, good luck. Like, dude, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like a 50-foot drop to like, and we built the land. Like we started building a landing. And it was like a 45-degree wall for like 30, 40 feet, and then it was a straight down wall. And like you couldn't see the landing at all, and it was like way too big, pretty icy. We're like, yeah, nope. Yeah, and there's also like spots like there's some rails I'll pull up to and be like, yeah, I'm all set on that. If it's like a gnarly like closeout, or if like it's a janky rail with like I'm not into skate stoppers or hop rails. I have bad luck with hop rails.
Yeah.
This one in Quebec got me good.
What happened with that?
I like it was like a closeout, like triple hop. It was me, my brother, and Kirk Scully. And we were just like hitting this thing, and I fell off early and just like closed myself out. Oh, I'm like and got it like right above the boots. So I got both my shins bruised. Oh, it was terrible. But yeah, hop. Yeah, not a Chris and hop rails. Not a fan.
Yeah. How do you keep yourself motivated when you're at these spots, just beating the hell out of yourself? Because obviously, you know, ski movies aren't bringing in a ton of money. And so what's going through your mind when you're at the spot? You're like, damn, like, is it worth it to break myself off for like a clip?
Mostly just like the homies. And just like have it like we're just like, yeah, it's the best. Like me, Mike, Rob Newton, Ian Ackerman, like anyone out there just like having fun, like just doing stuff. Like
Yeah.
Jones will always like the filmer always crack us up. He's a he's a goofy guy. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's just like that, like just knowing like it'll all be worth it in the end.
Uh-huh.
That's what like we always like it's gonna be worth it. Like it sucks right now, yeah. We always say that like we'll watch the movie and be like, damn, you remember that moment? Like, yeah, that sucked. But like, it's so worth it watching it now. Where like you'll watch a clip and be like, while you're hiking or something, like, damn, I was sweating there, like was dying. But like now it's like something I look back at and like enjoy, which is great. But
Awesome.
people probably have the same thing about other videos too. But just like my take on it.
No, that's awesome, man. And was there any movie in particular that you guys really poured your heart and soul into? Because obviously it's like fun stacking clips, but was there anything you're like, I have like a very like set creative vision for this. I know what I want to do, and let's go out and do it. Was there any point like that?
I would say not me personally. Besides, like I really like took kind of like the last Hood trip personally, because like Hood is like my dream. So like meet again, the last video I made at Hood, like I really love that one. But like other than that, I would say one that like we really tried to like hone down the vision as a crew was the Lupe style files, like back in the day. Like that was like it. Like that was like we had all of us were like, all right, we're hitting 3 spots a day, like for a month, like 2 weeks straight. Like I remember there was like a month I didn't even ski the mountain. Like I was like, we would stay like a mile and a half from Mount Snow, Carinthia. And we like drive past it every day and just like with car loaded, like Lupe's winch and everything. It was bad. It was
Yeah.
bad, but great. Actually, I don't even know if we had the winch back then. We were bunch of times.
Yeah. So for context for all the people listening, so Style Files was an
That's
inspired.
way
It was
back.
yeah, that was way back in the Lupe interview. He talks about like that's one of like the first big things that happened to him coming out of school, and so that was a series with Inspired Media. And
Oh yeah,
so what are some of the behind the scenes with that project that you guys were doing?
yeah. So it was like it was crazy for if you listen to the Lupe interview, like you know how crazy he was about it, and it was like nuts because he was chilling with T Hall, so I was just geeking out in college back east, just freaking out how he's chilling with T Hall, and then like he was just like, "Yo, Iberg might be giving you guys a call," and I was like, "Wait, what? Like inspired Iberg?" He's like, "Yeah, like you and Brett, like you and like I gave him Brett's number, and we are like, wait, what? Like, so then like Iberg called us, like, yeah, would you guys want to like make 3 videos for us?" And we're like, uh, speechless. Yes. So like, yeah, so we're like, and then once that happened, Lupe was like, dude, and we're like, I was like, are you kidding me, Lupe? Like, what are you doing out there, man? I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's yeah. And then like they were like, yo, like we have these videos, like they gave us like 3 dates, and we was like, yep, we're getting it done, and like this is how we're doing it. And I'm like, all right, sounds good to me. Like, and then he would be like, all right, like, can we, how, Chris, like, how do you think we can make this like better? And I was like, all right, well, let's do this. And then, like, yeah, Brett made the intro, that little file page and thing, like, we just got like, yeah, that was crazy, that whole scenario.
What was it like when you were putting those out? Like you're seeing the inspired intro on a video that you were making. What were you thinking at the time?
No, I still, yeah, the craziest thing still is when we got the Dropbox of the inspired media. I
Yeah.
think me and Brett probably watched it 100 times that night in the dorm room. We just sat there and just inspired, just watched it. It was so sick. But yeah, it was like that's when I realized like, damn, I could probably like produce videos for like ski companies, and like it kind of like led to me working with Ski the East and like still working with Carinthia, which is like super rad to think that like it all is like a huge stepping stone for me, obviously.
Yeah. And so what was your work like with Ski the East? Well, first question, was it under Meatheads at the time or was it Ski the East?
Yeah, so I was after the whole meatheads thing, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Meatheads was pretty core. That was awesome.
yeah, it was sick. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I was just basically brought on just as like a temporary filmer because they knew I was at Mount Snow for 1 year, and I was like, they knew I had a house and I could stay like house myself and not have to like crash at their place. And I was like, yeah, like I could help you film. And me and it was they originally invited Brett. And they're like, yeah, this kid Chris could tag along, and I tagged along, and then like that's where I got like one of my first paychecks from like filming. I was just like super amped and like met all those dudes. And then ever since then, we've just been in contact. Like throughout the years, like we went to like, I went to Manchester, filmed like some stuff for Neo back in the day. And then like they'll hit like, now I have like a bunch other friends who like work there. So like they'll be like, oh, let's like do a shoot at Mount Snow. I'm like, yeah, hell yeah, we can make this happen. Like, so
Yeah.
it's sick.
So what's the combination like for when your world at Carinthia and your world at Ski the East cross paths? They're like, hey, let's do a when they're
I
like,
would
hey, let's do a private shoot. Are you digging or are you filming?
Oh, it could be rough. So I'm usually doing a little bit of both. Usually, so if the shoot is on like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I'll work like Monday through Thursday and like build it with the groomers and like send the guys pictures at Ski the East. So it's like I'm kind of like I used to be in the cat with COVID. I can't be in the cat, and like we're not doing the shoot this year, obviously. But Yeah, I used to just like sit passenger and just like tell them what's going on. And like last year or like a few years ago for working title actually for 4x9, I built one that was a little too big. The Y, the jump through the Y. But yeah, like those dudes, like I would just be like digging, and then like all week, and then like usually come in the morning, help them set up their signs and stuff, and just film. Take the 3 days off that they're actually shooting, like just like film for them, and like just have like an easy contact for with Parker, so I could like radio in anything. So it was like super chill for me.
Yeah, definitely. So when you're building a feature like that, especially like the non-day to day stuff, like the special shoots, whose perspective are you thinking from? Are you thinking from like, oh, let's make sure this looks really good on camera? Are you worried about safety? Are you worried about, how gnarly can you make it? What's kind of your priorities there?
So I always think about like I always just try to go big first, and all the groomers will tell you that, like because I don't groom, so
Yeah.
they'll tell you like Chris, you can't make that, you can't groom that. And I'm just like, all right, so how can you groom that? And then like that's where like their mastermind comes in. So like yeah, basically like the process is like want like figuring out how to build something, and then like you have to also figure out how to maintain it, because you can't build something that you can't just like, if it's for a shoot though it's fine because it's like a one and done thing. But so like we'll just try to like build it the best we can, and then if it works it works. Usually I'm the guinea pig unfortunately for most of the stuff, which
Yeah.
is pretty gnarly sometimes, but
And that was my other question too. Are you ever building stuff that's outside of your capabilities? Like, are you ever building stuff that's so gnarly that you're like, even I can't hit this?
so far no.
Uh huh.
At Carinthia, yeah, no, yeah, I haven't been scared in a few years now. But
Yeah.
yeah, there's like stuff that like they built, like the crew went out to build Super Park a few years ago, and I was like, sat home and I was like, damn, they built some big stuff out there that I would not hit.
Yeah.
But yeah, around these parts, we have to keep it like, we don't have to keep it mellow. Like we're building this year, we're keeping it mellow, but like in the past, we're still building some big jumps and like pretty sketchy features. But like, yeah, I'm not, someone's got to hit it. That's what I always say.
That's kind of a part we haven't touched on yet. Like, for somebody that's behind the camera, you're pretty well rounded in being able to, hang with all the guys in front of the camera too.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the time it's just the filmer's the kid that sucks. So he's like, all right, like I guess I'll film because I don't want to do the shit that you guys are doing. But you're also in front of the camera. So like, what was that like for you?
So yeah, so that's also how like I got more into 860 media, because Brett was like, dude, you need to ski more and stop filming. So that's how he like, that's how I got like more skiing. And like, yeah, but I always kind of just like had my camera and it was down to film. I loved it. People liked it. So I'd be like, oh, yeah, you get a clip of me. But yeah, I always like, I definitely love skiing myself
Yeah.
and
Do
love
you,
throwing down.
do you ever find it hard being in front of the camera and you're like, damn, I wish I was filming myself right now because I know exactly how I want this to be documented? Or do you trust whoever you're giving the camera to?
Oh, all the time. Oh, every time I get a shot of myself, I'm like, damn, I would, but I always have to tell myself like, oh, like I'm a super like, I look into stuff way too much all the time. Like I will watch a movie. It's like one of my like film. I always like, my film teacher told me like, once you go to film school, you'll never be able to watch a movie the same way ever again. And it's like true, because like you look for like imperfections and stuff like that. But like yeah, it's like Tuna. Like there's a few people that I don't like. Tuna is a kid I call. His name's Brian Jones, or B Rye. He's got mad band names, but yeah, he's a filmer that like I'll 100% he's getting the shot. Like Log Lens Jones, that's another one, but like his name. But yeah, he kills it. And like my brother on Fisheye is like one of the go tos, because he can obviously just keep up skiing, and like those two are good. But like yeah, I always get nervous. Not even like, I always tell him too, like I don't care if you break my camera, like just get this, like just be as close as you can. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's a weird process. Like it's so weird being in front of the camera, and then like even going through footage, like naming footage of myself is weird.
Yeah. You're like Chris, Chris
Yeah,
clip one. You're like,
yeah. I'm like, oh, that's weird.
Yeah, man. So like the business side of it, because everybody growing up, they're in the park, they're filming it, they're like, oh, I want to make a career out of this. So, what's your journey with A60 Studio like?
Yeah, so 860 Studio is like I like to call it the more grown up version of 860 Media. So
Yeah.
like that's where I like will do like my commercial work and like all my like wedding stuff and like it in the future I see myself leaning more and more towards that obviously and like doing more documentary work and stuff like that, which is like super rad. And like I just want to keep 860 Media like skiing and like skiing related to like so the people like they don't want to see like not that people getting married isn't cool, but like they don't want to see people getting married. You know what I mean? It's like so that's why I like switch that stuff up and like try to like keep it separate. But eventually I think 860 Studio is gonna be like the full thing that I go for. And like it is like right now that's it's like my business in Connecticut. So it's what I'm going for, I guess.
Yeah. And so, and you see that pattern a lot with with media companies. It happens all the time that they start out with skiing, and like the most famous example is obviously Stepped, where you start out with skiing and then move into more professional work. Um, but like if you were so say you could have anything you want with A60 Studio, like what are some of these documentaries you'd be working on? Like what do you move into with it?
Oh geez. Oh no, I want to do I kind of want to do like some travel stuff and like it like I've been kind of weird thing, but I've been super into like mountaineering documentaries lately and like just traveling like that. I think I would die personally if I did it right now because I'm not in the shape those dudes are in. But like, yeah, I've been like really into the stuff like that, and I like would love to like do something like that, or like even like a travel one. So I'm like, I don't know. Eventually, I'll hopefully one of my crazy friends will want to go on an adventure. So
Are you dead set on, oh, I want to work for myself, or have you explored working for, working freelance for like Vice News, for example, and like working on one of those like remote
oh
projects?
yeah, I would absolutely love to do stuff like that, and like I'm open to anything. Like right now, you probably know Shay McFalls, the guy.
Yeah.
So him and his partner Luke during this whole thing, they needed someone else shooting for him. So like this whole COVID situation. So I've been doing a lot of work for Shane and Luke, just like hanging out with and like shooting like the random stuff they need shot. So I'll do like an interview here and there. So like yeah, like I could see myself like I don't know if those guys would want me, but like joining a crew like that, you know what I mean? Like a bunch of creative people and just like yeah, bounce off each other.
Um, that's awesome, man. Like I think it really does feel like you're at kind of a crossroads right now for like it's just a lot of, you have a lot of
Oh,
different things going on right now.
yeah, I'm like an octopus kind of. That's why I always say I'm like I don't even know what I'm touching a little bit of water everywhere, but
Yeah.
yeah.
No, that's good. That's definitely good. And so I posted this a couple weeks ago, but we got some viewer questions.
Oh God.
Yeah. And so we got some a wide variety of stuff. Some people submitted multiple. I could always tell when it's like the friends of the guest because some people just submit like just like really stupid stuff. So
Oh,
I kept some of those in there. Had to discard a couple others. So we'll just work through it.
sounds good.
So Brew Baby, what's your favorite A60 edit?
Favorite 860 edit. Jeez, that's hard. It might have to be my hood,
And what about that one is your favorite?
just because I think if I remember, I think it was like it was like old school Carinthia Duggar. Just like the vibe was right. Everyone was there. Brett was there. I think. Oh, it
Yeah.
was just sick.
All right, and another one from Brew Baby. Who are your top five East Coast skiers?
Oh, jeez. Top five East Coast skiers at the moment. I'm definitely forgetting some. Like, jeez. So well, Brew Baby's one of them. Brew Baby's got to be one of them. And I'll go with see I don't even know if I want to count the young guns. Do I count the young guns or count the OGs?
Hey, it's up to you, man.
So like Brew Baby, I'm going with Brew Baby, Young Snow, Andy Horblitz, uh Chris Benchler, I'm butchering that name. Uh and who's the last one? I'm gonna be biased. I'm gonna go with my brother.
Nice, man. That's a wholesome. That's a wholesome moment right there. All right. All right. Cyan asks a pretty specific question. Okay. So this is from the first A60 movie. Could you send the big drop in Keene, New Hampshire with a Banshee bungee?
We did.
Okay.
It was an uphill banshee bungee. We called my roommate Ellen Purvis, and he was a wrestler, and he was the biggest dude I knew. And he pulled that banshee bungee back farther than I've ever seen someone pull a banshee bungee back. And he was an absolute beast.
And so what? So what's this clip that he's talking about?
It's the one I'm pretty sure if he's talking about the Keen wall, it's the one Lupe jumped over and did a 180. And I thought he was completely insane. But yeah, it was a big drop. And I remember Kirk wanted to do like a backflip over it. We're like, dude, no, you're gonna die. It's just young Kirk Scully. You're like, no, we're not watching someone die on us right now because the landing had a chair, like a bench in it. So if you didn't make it to the landing, you're gonna land on this park bench, which is just straight concrete. So it wasn't like mellow, and the in run was uphill. So like you were constantly losing speed going into it, so you never knew how far you're going. And Lupe was just so like amped up, like let's get it, baby. So yeah, this kid Ellen showed up in athletic shoes. There was like probably a foot of snow on the ground, and he was just running back, like freezing. Oh, he was such a beast. Yeah, and just pulled that thing back for us and just launched us. It was dope. Launched Lupe, not me. Screw that. I'm not hitting that.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, Griffin with another future question. Do you see yourself staying in the Northeast for the foreseeable future?
Oh God. So I always said I never wanted to pitch out and go out west, but like I definitely want to try it for a few years, I think. Eventually I think I definitely am. Just because it's so like it looks like a different change of pace,
Yeah.
change of scenery.
Have
If the
you?
opportunity opens.
So other than like going out to Hood, have you ridden out west before?
That's what me and my brother always joke about. We're true East Coast rats.
Yeah.
I've never touched like powder out west. I've skied Mount Hood like in May and like that's it. That's
Damn.
the only I've never touched like Keystone, Breck. Like I would love to hit their jumps. I heard like their jump line's sick and like all their parks look so rad. Like Park City this year is killing it. And like, yeah, I don't know. We're true East Coast rats, I guess.
Yeah. Is there anything like prohibiting you from going out there, or is it just all the traffic lights haven't been green? It just hasn't worked out yet.
The only thing prohibiting me is laziness, probably, and just like loving Mount Snow and just the East Coast like vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's hard to go away from something you love.
yeah, and like I don't know, I just have the funds are there, but like it's just like something I'm just never like really trying to like. I was just always trying to save, so eventually I'm gonna be out there.
That's so funny. It's like there's nothing standing in your way. You're just choosing not to go explore out there. Oh, that's funny, man. So Ryan asked, "Are you going out to Hood this spring?"
Good chance. Might be booking a house tonight, but who knows?
Damn. All
You
right.
never know. Good chance though. Probably early May, hopefully.
Yeah. Um. Let's see some of the more obscure ones. Colby asked, "What's your go-to sandwich?"
Oh, go-to sandwich. Jeez, are we going breakfast any type of sandwich?
I guess anything. Yeah, anything goes.
Actually, we're going midday. PB and J on Hill. Got to go crunchy peanut butter, strawberry jelly.
What type of bread?
White.
Okay.
Got to white with a little flour.
Hell yeah. All right. Garrett asks, "What's your stance on fences?"
Oh, geez. Garrett Colby, another 860 media guy who's a true OG. Or not a true OG, but he like came later in the crew. But yeah, he now works on Park Crew and he hates fences as much as I do.
Yeah.
And I hate them, Garrett. Thank you for asking that question.
All right. Fetty Wab asks, "What mode of transportation would a screen door best suit?"
Oh, geez, this is a good one.
Yeah, I do not know what that means.
It's Flex Seal. It's a boat. You
Okay,
Flex Seal it from the commercial. Rob is. How did I get that?
that's pretty good. And he also asks, "Who is the red bearded beauty, and is he single?"
That's definitely not him. Rob Newman. He is not Signal.
um, let's see. Okay, Big Garth. He says, ask about the coffee naps. What's up with the coffee naps?
Oh, geez. That's a legendary thing of mine. So like right after skiing, if I'm feeling like real tired and like just gassed out from the day, I'll just drink coffee or two and just go to bed, which is like a really bizarre thing. People are like, I don't know how you do it. But then I wake up and feel energized around like 8 o'clock at night, which is so weird. When everyone gets tired, I'm just up. And
Yeah.
yeah. And he's the filmer, Brian, that was talking about, Brian Johnson. Yeah, he was great. Like he'll see me wake up out of these naps and just be like, dude, what the hell is going on? Go to sleep.
He also said to ask about your acid wash kit. So what's up with that?
Oh, geez. So we used to sell 860 media gear with a bunch of like acid wash stuff. Like we had like bleach, and I would always do it in the same clothes. And all the bleach came on my clothes, and now it's just completely tie-dyed. And I look like a cheetah in this thing. And
Yeah.
I wear it around the house sometimes in Vermont if I'm like just really like slouching, and he just brags on me.
Yeah. And the last one from Big Garth is why does the camera have tape and an elastic band on it?
That is because he totaled the camera first day we were at Mount Hood. We went out to Hood, had an HVX. He was filming Fisheye, and this girl. I don't technically I don't blame him, but this girl stopped at the bottom of the rail and like he annihilated her. More, but like he didn't hit her. He like moved so only his arm hit, and I came down, and he was looking uphill, and my camera was face down in the woods, and I just picked it up, and the screen was hanging off. But yeah, so it's hanging up at home now, and it still works but just has no screen. And yeah, the battery, you got to hold the battery in with your thumb or put an elastic band on it to hold it in. But it will still get you a good clip.
Yeah. So Jackson asks, what was the peak of A60 media? When do you feel like you guys were most like at your stride?
Oh, obviously, like when everyone was still around, Duggar, Lupe, like back in the like when we were still in college, when
Uh-huh.
like all the OGs were still like popping up on the weekends, just absolutely killing Paul Pill, Pishin, like that was the true era
Hell yeah.
for sure.
Then that's the era that I knew before any of the new versions of A60 were around.
Yeah, now it's just like I always say, it's just me and my brother, just like, and everyone else just like keeping shit alive and just having fun with it.
Yeah, for sure.
Because for now, we're the funniest thing. All the new kids like Garrett Colby and like yeah, it's like Garrett Colby, Rob Newton, and like all like Ian Ackerman. Like we all just like are still from Connecticut, like San Marino. Like it's funny like that like they weren't like they didn't like really know all those original dudes, but like they still were from the 860 and like grew up watching it. So it's like funny.
Yeah, yeah. Um, so Jake's wondering when can we buy hoodies?
See, everyone's asking this, and I was wondering if I probably should do an order.
Yeah,
So maybe in the next month or so I'll do an order. I'll have to send you one for sure, dude.
yeah, that would be really
Just
tight. I've always had an eye on. I had an eye on A60 media gear before I even had any money to buy it. Like I would have had to ask my mom for some money to buy some A60.
yeah.
So yeah, I mean, if you guys release some, I think that the true guys would definitely buy some. All right. Okay. Gray knows the truth. Thoughts on the Corona season?
Ah, Corona season. Well, you can't thoughts on it. It sucks. Like no one likes it. Corona sucks, obviously. It's a it's a terrible thing. People who don't think it's real, get a life. It's real. Wear a damn mask. Like, let's be real here. But yeah, like it just sucks how well, it's great how we still had a ski year. And it just sucks how people think that since this year sucks, everything sucks. Like it's gonna come back.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure every mountain is afraid that they're gonna get shut down. So they didn't blow that much snow. So it's like, yeah, it's like it was a super bummer, but like you have to take caution. Like it's gonna turn out good eventually. We
Yeah.
just need to wait it out, wait out the storm.
Yeah. So is there anything that would usually go on at Carinthia that you're missing this season that you're like, damn, like I really wish we could be doing this
Yeah.
event this season or
Yes.
anything like that?
So we have the Carinthia Classic. It's a rail jam. We usually always do. The past few years we've been doing this thing with Snowboy Ash and Steel, but I don't know if that would still be happening with new management and everything. But yeah, so we just did we just like kind of miss out on like doing some events like that, like having more of a like the like core crowd and like seeing some shit like stuff thrown down. Like
Yeah. Damn. Um, and this is kind of just question based off that. This wasn't a viewer question, but for outsiders that don't know about it, could you describe the event that happens in the Powerline Trail in Carinthia? I don't
oh
want to butcher the name. It's like the Thumbulator or whatever the hell you guys
yeah,
call it.
the Thumbulator.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's going on with that?
So the Thumbulator is like an event that happens. I can't give it out because it's like it happens every year in the
Yeah,
spring.
I know a little bits and pieces, but we'll leave it mysterious.
Yeah, I'm not to give you the date or anything, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's like not even dug by the like park or anything. It's just like a bunch of locals just dig it, and it's just one kicker just in the back. If you actually scroll back, either I forget it's either on my Instagram or the 860 Media one. If you scroll back, you'll see a little edit of it. But yeah, it's just like an event that like everyone like goes celebrates a year and just like goes hucks themselves off this little jump that's like not big to a flat landing, and it's sick. I've personally never hit it. I've always just been there, just like chilling, just like taking photos and videos and stuff, like and enjoying the day. But like, yeah, it gets rowdy for sure.
Yeah. And on that day, are you just seeing people pour into the woods? Like if you're just
Yeah,
riding around, do you
so
know what's going on?
it doesn't happen until 4.
Okay.
So the mountain is so it happens after. It's kind of like a shush shush event.
Yeah.
So like at yeah after 4, everyone kind of gathers there. Or like 3:30, people will start gathering, and
Yeah.
then just like yeah, everyone really piles in, and then like since it's in the woods and like where people can't see you, like people don't like sweep like yeah, you can just chill up there until the end. You just have to be careful coming down, obviously, because the snowcats are out.
Yeah. That honestly, that's one of the gnarliest traditions on the East Coast that I feel like doesn't, because it's so secret, it doesn't get the recognition that it deserves. But that event is just, it's like that is such a core event right there. It's just really for the love of like being rowdy.
Yeah, it's so dope. Like I don't even know like the true origins, but I'm pretty sure it's something with the dude last name Thumb, and like
Yeah.
the two trophies are sick. Like they're just two thumbs. There's a girl one, guy one. And you get to keep it for the full year, and you bring it back next year.
Oh, that's so sick. That is so sick. Um, all right, moving on to the next viewer question, and one of the last. So Eric asks, "What are your thoughts on the Mount Snow Vale merger, and what changes have you kind of seen with that?"
So the Mount Snow Vale merger, everyone will tell you Mount Snow sucks now, but it's the same thing. But yeah, we got so we have to realize like we lost a lot of guys because they Parks Woodward or Park City kind of stole a bunch of our guys. They had like a sick opportunity there. Mount Snow also didn't do anything in the summer, so they couldn't really stick around. They didn't have really jobs like with COVID and everything. Like they had to figure something out to live their living situations. But yeah, with the whole change, like there's just more rules with fencing. Like that's why Garrett said that with the fencing too. It's yeah, there's just like we put up fences all the time. Like in the morning, like they just have to have fence off. But like other than that, nothing major. We can't do like a few of the features we can't put as like high up, and we can't put like in the transitions, we can't like basically we can't put features like where a bunch of trails merge, which is like
Huh.
kind of understandable because that's where most of our injuries would happen. So we're like, okay, so we maybe should have changed this before, but okay, but like yeah, like this year has been a little weird with all the snow and stuff. So we've had to like kind of like conserve our snow as much as possible and put in like features like here and there. But other than that, like it's gonna be come back. Like it's a rough season. Great season for snow, but like for blowing snow, like we just didn't want to give us the full capacity as they usually do.
Yeah. So that's coming down from Vail Corporate saying you have to do this, this, and this with your park.
I don't know. It's just like more of like a whole generate like the whole thing. Like train parks are now like getting more recognition throughout the industry. So like there's more just overall rules like safety rules, which
Yeah.
makes sense. Like you don't want people going like 80 miles an hour into a park.
Yeah.
Like it
Yeah.
like if you even if you go like to Woodward, they got those big nice gates. Like we just need like next year we're like, all right, we need to figure out something with these fences. Hopefully we'll get some nice archways.
All right, and so the last question, and this is just kind of to round everything out. So what's your tip for a kid, in high school, coming out of high school that wants to make a career either in skiing or with film in general?
Have fun with it. Don't take it too serious because that's when you just start losing it. Like yeah, it's all about just like live your life. Like things will happen if you make like good choices. Don't like don't be a jerk to like the older generation. I learned some serious lessons back that just be cool with it and like go with the flow. Like just live life. You'll work your things out. And if you have a dream, go for it. Why not? Like if you want to film and not make $1 million a year like me, just do it. You'll figure it out.
Hell yeah, man. Well, that's all the questions that we have. Is there anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
Not really. Other than just, I don't know. Hope everyone's getting out there this year as much as they can with Corona going on.
For sure. And where can people find you?
They could find me at Carinthia basically every single day until they close. At this point, we'll
There we
figure
go.
that it's a meltdown, but I'll be there.
All right. Hell yeah, man. Thank you very much for coming on.
No problem.